The content piece you are about to experience is the most in-depth review you have ever seen on Chance the Rapper. By the end, I'm going to grade every song and every record that those songs are within, and ultimately grade Chance the Rapper as an artist based on his past bodies of work. Welcome to Discography Breakdown. For this piece, we're going to be reviewing the following mixtapes and albums from Chance the Rapper: 10 Day, Acid Rap, Coloring Book, and The Big Day. I created this series because I thought it was important that we start to make real good and deep analysis on an entire body of work, so that way we get a bigger and fuller story about the artist's mindset, why they made that album or that song, and to get a clearer picture of what their entire discography looks like as a whole. So that's why we're here, and that's what we're doing today. 10 Day from start to finish was quite possibly the best way to intro your musical work within a mixtape project format. His direction is crystal clear, providing the listeners context to who he is, why he's even creating a project in the first place, expertly crafting lyrical journeys that take us on a trip through his mind and experiences. He's always been very experimental with his sound, and that of course is refreshing, especially at the time it was released. Besides Kanye, Chance was really the most vibrant and interesting sound coming out of Chicago from the new and young artists. Besides, of course, Chief Keef and the era of drill rap that was emerging around the same time. Chance really crafted an excellent intro with 14,400 minutes, which, by the way, equates to 10 days. This is a revelation that blew my mind when I first realized it, so excuse me, it was kind of crazy, so I loved it. From the infectious drum pattern and horns that came in to the infamous that Chance is forever going to be known for as his hype call sign. At this point, if you hear that, you're anticipating an amazing Chance the Rapper verse. His excitement doesn't stop here. From the gritty sounding Missing You to lo-fi hip-hop beat-driven Brain Cells and arriving eventually to 22 Offs, that really sounds like it was an infant stage concept that would eventually birth into acid rap. I personally wasn't a huge fan of You Got Me Effed Up and Juke Juke. These songs were fine, but his flow and the presentation just didn't feel very satisfying and didn't allow his performance to really shine above the loud instrumentals and gritty production. His song Family, featuring young Vic Mensa and Suleiman, was a fun cipher that allowed all involved to have a fun time flexing their lyrical skills on their friend Chance the Rapper's project. Personally, and luckily, many would agree that Prom Night was the absolute best song on this album. The beat is mesmerizing, with the bright piano playing out of tune chords that perfectly encapsulates his excitement and drive throughout his rap performance. It really was peak. Chance the Rapper created so much excitement regarding what he has up his sleeve for his next record. Now, like I said, we're going to grade every song and every record at the end of this video, so make sure you stay tuned to see my whole review of everything. But for 10 Day, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. When I first listened to it, it really did feel like this experimental, smorgasbord of different songs, and really him flexing his muscles regarding his lyricism, the way that he does it, the way that he comes in and out of the beat. And it just really was a lot of fun to listen to him at such a young age. I believe he was 18 or 19 at the time of this releasing. It felt like so much fun and a breath of fresh air when I first listened to it, when I listened to it years since, and when I listened to it again for this video piece. And really, this mixtape encouraged so many other people to take chances on their different projects and the feel of their projects, and not just stay stagnant in what they've been doing for years. I feel like Chance really did a great job with this, and it's shown through. Up next on our review is his highly acclaimed mixtape, Acid Rap. This project from Chance the Rapper was probably the most fun I've had listening to a project for a long time. His stylistic approach to his lyricism is so refreshing to hear, even now in this era of hip-hop. He takes such good care to clearly communicate his excitement and drug use as a theme throughout this mixtape. The way he weaves insightful and introspective songs to his more exciting and experimental pieces makes this mixtape all the more fun to experience. The very beginning of his project started with one of the best rap intros, period, which was approximately titled Good Ass Intro. Coming off his 10 Day mixtape, he literally begins this entire record with a level of enthusiasm that carried you into the rest of the journey. He writes, "Raps just make me anxious and acid made me crazy. Them squares just made me looser and that wax just made me lazy." This verse is providing a crystal clear picture about what this mixtape will sound like and how it's designed to make you feel. The roller coaster ups and downs make this collection so exciting to listen to. Even between Pusha Man and Paranoia, I theorize that each song represents a different drug. Pusha Man sounds like he's on pills, and Paranoia sounds like he took weed. The approach, if correct, is creative and refreshing. He does an amazing job featuring other Chicago artists on this record, like No Name, Saba, BJ the Chicago Kid. Their additions really help bring a certain warmth to the sound of each song. The production also was incredible. Cocoa Butter Kisses, Everybody's Something, Acid Rain, and Everything Is Good really brought forth the value of this album's engineering. And Chance's performance on each song was powerful. From the low tone, quiet singing to his aggressive flow switches, his voice really brings this entire record together like no other young rapper I've had the pleasure of listening to in a long time has done, period, even up to now. I say this all the time. Concept matters. Concepts matter so much in any project that you're creating, whether it's a piece of art that you're painting, or it's a building that you're trying to construct, or even an essay that you're trying to write for school. It is so important to understand the concept, the themes. What are you trying to get at? Why are you writing this? Chance the Rapper is amazing at making sure that we are so understanding as to what it is that he's writing and why he's writing it. Your journey on drugs or around drugs, everybody who's done them knows that there is a very separate and very intimate experience with each drug that you do. You might have a horrible experience. You might have a great one. You might have one that is so enlightening that you have to write or talk or say something about it. And Chance the Rapper does, again, such a fantastic job making sure that we are keyed in to what he's saying. We're locked into the journey, to the different drugs, to the people that he's pulling in along the way. It even feels like at some point in each song, it's like other people were doing drugs with him, thereby giving you their experience while they're rapping and while they're giving their performance in the song. It just felt like such a full project. It just felt so complete. And it's very rare nowadays that you find that you listen to artists that have complete projects. Sometimes they feel unfinished, right? I don't know if you guys, I play lots of games, right? I play lots of video games and online and otherwise. And nowadays, it does feel as though that these artists, rappers, singers are producing projects like gaming developers produce games. They're unfinished, right? Like they come out and you can hear with your ears that this is not done. It sounds, the production is fragmented. The singing and the vocals sound like they're hidden underneath all of the music. Everything just sounds off. And I've even heard recently that there are people who are trying to fix their albums after they release. In the age of digital media, this is exactly what, unfortunately, we've come to expect. But with Chance the Rapper, that is not what happened on Acid Rap. This entire mixtape was, from beginning to end, just pristine. And he did it in such a way that made people so excited, right? Because now he went from 10-day to Acid Rap. He's only going up at this point. And people know that he has it in him. He has it in him to be the big rapper, to be that big presence in hip hop that we've been wanting to see for a long time. Even back in the early 2010s, I was a huge fan of him and still am, by the way, and excited to see what he had to do next. And when Acid Rap dropped, I just knew, right? At this point, he was already telling us that he was going to release a full studio album. So from 10-day to Acid Rap, dude, we knew that this entire next album was going to be a massive hit. And boy, were we right. The next piece of work we're going to discuss, coloring book. By the way, if you love what's going on here and you want to see more of these discography breakdowns, please make sure you subscribe. I'm doing these. I have this whole thing written out. I'm having a lot of fun re-listening to these albums and these records and mixtapes. If you want to see more of this, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. I want to be here to make more of these for you, for whatever artist you could think of, whether it's rock, country, rap, I don't care. I'll do them on anybody. Tell me in the comments below. Chance the Rapper's coloring book isn't just an album. It's a radiant, technicolor burst of sound and spirit that redefined what gospel rap could be. From the very first track, the project felt like a celebration of life, faith, and artistic freedom. It is easily one of the most soul-nourishing and musically fulfilling listens I've had ever. When acid rap danced through chaos, Coloring Book marches toward clarity with trumpets, choirs, and a holy conviction. Chance's lyrical style remains as unpredictable and vibrant as ever, but here it's anchored by something deeper: purpose. He communicates joy and gratitude as effortlessly as he once did teenage rebellion and acid trips. Thematically, this project is dripping in salvation, fatherhood, faith, yet somehow it still manages to sound rebellious in its own right, because who else had the audacity to make a gospel project sound this fun? And this is a really important note. People don't realize that, and by the way, I grew up in the church my entire life. I've listened to gospel and contemporary Christian and modern Christian, all this stuff. Listen, I know what a boring gospel rap song sounds like. Most gospel rap songs are boring, aside from Lecrae. I got to do one of these projects on Lecrae. We're going to do Lecrae one day, okay? But Chance the Rapper made sure that if he was going to do a gospel anything, it had to sound amazing. He did that. He made this gospel project sound incredible. And a lot of you out there might say, I don't think this is a gospel project. I think Coloring Book was more rap or hip hop. You're free to say that. You can easily just say that it was gospel hip hop. You can say that too, and you would be right. All We Got kicks the door wide open with a gospel choir behind him and Kanye West by his side, setting off fireworks before the parade even begins. The message is loud and clear. The music is the blessing. And Chance, he's the vessel. The opening line, "This ain't no intro, this is an entree," doesn't just start the album, it declares it. What follows is the kaleidoscope of genre-blending brilliance. No Problem is an anti-label anthem disguised as a Sunday morning turn-up. Blessings feels like a direct transmission from the heavens, and Same Drugs floats on melancholy piano keys as Chance mourns the innocence of lost youth. And then there's How Great, oh my God, which opens with a chillingly raw a cappella gospel performance from his cousin Nicole, building into a spiritual crescendo that feels like church and stage show all at once. The sequencing of this album is genius. It moves like a praise and worship mixtape from another dimension. Each track is its own chapter in Chance's spiritual autobiography. If acid rap was a trip, Coloring Book is the testimony. There's this fascinating duality throughout. Songs like Smoke Break acknowledge the pressures of adulthood, while Finish Line/Drown captures both fatigue and faith in a swirl of hopeful harmonies. And please, we have to talk about the features. Chance doesn't just use guests for clout, he curates voices. Kirk Franklin, Jeremiah, Dram, Jamila Woods, Lil Wayne, and even Young Thug all play their part into the symphony. It's not just collaboration, it's a communion. Each voice feels chosen, necessary, and in full service of the bigger message. And people have had a lot of issue with this album because they're like, wow, you have a gospel album with Lil Wayne on it? You're missing the point. The point is that this album was a gathering of all souls, of all people from all backgrounds. That is the church that he created. The Coloring Book album is church. It is designed to be a sermon. From top to bottom is a different message, but throughout, everyone is sitting in the pews listening for the next word. That's what people didn't get about Coloring Book. It is massive. It is cathedral. It is mass. It is everything that you thought a gospel album should be. He did it in this. Production-wise, the album is warm, layered, and sonically rich. The live instrumentation, gospel elements, and trap undercurrents blend into something that feels holy but human. Angels bounces with Chicago pride, Juke Jam drips with slow dance nostalgia, and Blessings Reprise closes the album with a victory lap so triumphant it feels like the credits rolling on a film about divine alignment. And through it all, Chance's voice, raspy, dynamic, emotional, is the glue. Whether it's a whisper sing like a lullaby or erupting with conviction, there's no mistaking his presence. It's not just the sound of a rapper, it's the sound of someone who knows they're walking in purpose. Coloring Book wasn't just a moment, it was a movement. And even now, it feels ahead of its time. Chance proved that rap could be spiritual without being corny, celebratory without being shallow, and deeply personal without ever losing its bounds. Few artists, if ever, had the courage or the joy to make an album like this. And almost no one has since. Except, of course, Lecrae. When I talk about Coloring Book, I talk about it as a moment in time. When I sat down to listen to this album, it transformed what I knew hip hop, rap, music could sound like. I did not know that Chance the Rapper could take a part of my childhood and mix it in with a part of my adulthood, because I didn't get to really listen to hip hop until I got out of the house. And he somehow combined, fusion danced all of these elements of my musical upbringing together. Now, of course, everybody knows that eventually this entire breakdown, if we're doing one on the history of Chance the Rapper's projects, we had to eventually get to the big day. So I'm going to talk about this with care, but I'm going to be very stern as well, because we can't have this glowing review about everything else, but not talk about what was the big day. Off the back of Chance the Rapper's most successful project, I'm sure you can imagine the buzz that was coming from the music scene. Chance the Rapper is Kanye's spiritual successor. Chance is up next. Chance can't fail. All of these things were being said. I cannot imagine the amount of pressure a young 23-year-old Chance was feeling when gearing up for this next project. To have that much expectation on you would probably make you play it safe, right? I know I would. But that was not what he did. In fact, Chance did the complete opposite of play it safe on probably the most anticipated first official studio album of 2019. After getting married to his wife Kirsten in May of 2019, he turned around and channeled all of his love, joy, excitement, and everything he was feeling for his new marital journey all into his new first album. He took a major risk that he hoped would pay off by making his first studio album entirely about his wedding day. So finally, he released The Big Day on July 26th of 2019. The world found out very quickly that the risk he took on his concept was completely off the mark. The Big Day, with no exaggeration, was one of the worst albums I had ever listened to. The concept wasn't necessarily the problem, it was his approach. He took way too much liberty on the experimental sound. From strange rock ballads with Do You Remember that features Death Cab for Cutie on the chorus, to literally the craziest song on the project, Hot Shower, with honestly horrible bars that just didn't sound good or read well when written down. Him and DaBaby sounded like they were rapping on two different songs. It was just a total mismatch. Speaking of mismatch, that song, The Big Day, the namesake of the album, should just cease to exist. It started off so well with a quiet message of love from the feature that carried us into the body of the song. And then Chance came in and ruined the entire thing. It was supposed to evoke every emotion he felt on the big day. Getting married is scary, and I get he wanted us to understand that, but this wasn't it. His screaming like a madman on the track made me laugh out loud in a way that I had never done with any other song. It was so out of place, I really couldn't take the rest of the album seriously. To be clear, We Go High and Handsome and Town on the Hill were amazing songs, but just put into the wrong album. Don't forget, what makes this all tragic is that this was so highly anticipated and had big shoes to fill off the success of his last three projects. It was a major letdown for everyone who had the misfortune of witnessing this in real time. I don't believe this album ruined his career. I think it made audiences and Chance reevaluate his momentum and how poorly he handled that pressure. And the project dropping in 2019 was absolutely catastrophic. It was just 6 months before the COVID-19 pandemic would hit around the world, and he wouldn't have another project come behind that. It just completely destroyed the momentum that he had, if he had any, after that album at all. Nobody likes The Big Day. Nobody. I haven't met a single person in real life that says, I like The Big Day. I enjoyed that album. Not a single person. Again, there are some good songs on the album, but for that to be his first studio album, it was actually literally heartbreaking. It hurts so badly to know that he put so much time and effort into that for it all to just fall completely apart. And again, the concept wasn't the issue, it was the execution. And he failed on it completely. It was just so bad.
Oh, I love my wife. I love my wife. Let's go ride a bike with my wife.
Thank you for making it this far, because now we are going to grade every single song in every single record so that we can have a full picture, and then at the end, grade Chance the Rapper for his past works. Let's do it. So first we have Chance the Rapper's 10 Day. And so I gave, 14,400 minutes, 10. Missing You, I gave a 9. Nostalgia, an 8. And Windows, I gave a 9. I think the first part of this album, or this record, this mixtape, was amazing. I think it was a great way to start everything off. Once we get to like the middle part, it started getting really good. Brain Cells, a 9. Long Time, a 9. 22 Offs, a 10. I thought 22 Offs was really good. And You Got Me Effed Up as an 8. Moving on, Family featuring Vic Mensa and Suleiman, 8. Juke Juke, I gave it 6, and F What You Talking About, I gave it 6. I think those two were kind of lackluster, but that's just my opinion. And then Long Time 2 is a 10. Prom Night, an absolute 10. You can't even have a discussion about that. It's a 10. And then finally, Hey Ma is a 9. Average this to be an 8.7. Okay, that's what I gave it. Whatever you gave it, tell me in the comments below. Now for Acid Rap. I say Acid Rap, starting off with the intro, an absolute 10. Pusha Man, an 8. Paranoia, 7. Interlude, 10. Great songs, starting off well. Cocoa Butter Kisses, if you don't give the song a 10, you're crazy. Juice, an 8. Everybody's Something, an 8. Lost, I gave a 9. Favorite song, an 8. Nah Nah, a 7. Acid Rain, a 9. Very close on a 10, but I feel like the production could have been a little bit better on that song. That's my opinion. Smoke Again, a 7. Chainsmoker, an 8. And finally, Everything's Good. Good A intro, a 10. He knows how to start and end a project. Amazing. Add all those up and get your average. You get a total of 8.5. Great project. He made such an awesome effort at putting this concept together and making sure that it was communicated to us that he was on a drug journey. It was, one of the best like conceptual hip hop albums I've heard. It worked, and it was just so very good. Now let's talk about Coloring Book. With Coloring Book, I gave the intro a 9. It was very close to a 10. I just feel like it could have been a little bit shorter, a little bit more concise, but it was really good. Gave it 9. No Problem, 10. Summer Friends, an 8. Dram Sing Special, although good, gave an 8. Now, Blessings and Same Drugs, these are definitely on my playlist all the time, on rotation. These are both 10s. If you do not think they're 10s, I really want to understand why that is the case. Please go in the comments below and tell me why you do not think that Same Drugs and Blessings are 10s. Please tell me. Going on, Mixtape is a 7. Angels, a 7. Juke Jam, a 10. I can imagine myself skating in the skating rink, having a good time, holding my girl's hand, just having fun. Justin Bieber on the hook. Come on. That's an absolute 10. So good. All Night, an 8. How Great is a 9, only because the sample was a little too long. A lot of these songs, if they would have shortened the sample a bit and really just went straight into it, I would have loved these songs more. So some of those 7s exist because of that. I feel like they played around a little bit too much with the sample. So there's that. Smoke Break, a 7. Finish Line, Drown, and Blessings are 10s. Back-to-back 10s on one album. This was, one record, one mixtape. I still consider this an album, to be honest with you. I feel like this is his first album. A lot of people feel that way. I guess that's just me. I don't know. But Coloring Book, add it all together and get your average. You get an average of 8.8. I think it was his best project to date. I do think that it was well put together conceptually. It was a gospel, rap, trap, smooth soul, like everything was in there. Kirk Franklin, Kanye West, Dram. You had Justin Bieber. It was a jam-packed project, and it was just so well done. This was an 8.8. It would have been a 9 if it weren't for some of them, some of the songs having too long of a stretch of intro, a little bit playing too much with the sample. Not a huge fan, but it would have been a 9 if it weren't for that. So 8.8. And now finally, we have to talk about his other album, his first album, The Big Day. So I'm just going to say this straight away. The Big Day, every single skit got a 0. Okay. I didn't care about the skits. They didn't do anything for this album. To be clear, I miss John Witherspoon, R.I.P. Keith David is amazing, but I did not care about these. Okay, so if you cared about them, let me know. I didn't. All Day Long, a 5. Do You Remember, a 3. Eternal, 2. Hot Shower, hot garbage, 2. We Go High, I loved We Go High. I gotta be honest with you, that was a really good song. So I gave We Go High a 9. That was the highest rated song on this entire album. I gave it a 9. So I Got You a 5. Photo Op Skit, 0. Rue, 4. Big Day, big garbage, 0. The yelling, what was he doing? He was yelling. Chance the Rapper started yelling. I don't understand why he did that. I mean, I understand why conceptually he wanted to make us feel how nervous and like exhausted and angry he was with all the mix of emotions about a wedding day. I get it, but it just did not work. 0. Let's Go on the Road, 3. Handsome, I gave it 8. Handsome's pretty good. Meg Thee Stallion, she did her thing on that. So Big Fish, 5. Ballin' Flossin', a 5. Quarters in the Black, I gave it a 0 because it's a skit. Year Plan, 5. Get a Bag, 1. Slide Around, 3. Sun Come Down, 5. Found a Good One, 4. Skit, 0. And finally, Zanies and Fools, I gave it 2. Add all that together, you get an average. That comes to 3.6. Again, this was a lot higher because there were some songs on here that were good. There were. So it wasn't as if it was a complete flop. Some people online were like 0, nothing. I give this nothing. No. I don't believe in that. I do believe that if there are some songs, listen, even a broken clock is right twice a day. This album had at least a couple of good songs. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say none of them were good. Although I want to say that, I can't. Some were good. So that 3.6 is what this averaged out to be.
Hear me and hear me good, nigga. I'm here to double down. That shit is a 2-pack of ass. The fuck are you talking about? That shit stinks.
Chance the Rapper's average score, according to my metrics on each project, was an 8.8, an 8.5, and an 8.7, along with a 3.6. When you average all that together and you do the math, it comes out to be a whopping 7.4. This, honestly, I think Chance the Rapper is an amazing artist. I think he has done such good work and he will continue to do good work. I do think that his last album was just the way it was done. If he didn't just leave that dead air for everyone to think about all the time, it would have, if he would have came back with something quickly, or if he would have replaced that memory with at least a single, something, but he did not. He left it to us for us to just ruminate on and think about. And I get why people gave it a 0, because from all the other projects that were so good, for you to come back with this, that was your first album, and then you left us with that. It was horrific. But that does bring me to the last part of this video, where I am excited for a new project that he has coming up soon. So Chance the Rapper does have a brand new album coming out soon. As of the recording of this, he has one coming out just in a few days. And so I actually pre-ordered this album. It is called Starline. There are so many amazing songs over the last 6 years, 5-6 years that he's compiled. I've heard some of his singles. I've seen some of the work that he's done. I follow him on social media. I truly believe, and this is my theory. You know, I got to have one. My theory is that this project is going to be this album, his second album. I believe it's an album. I believe it is. But this second project is going to be his comeback. I believe that Chance the Rapper is about to have the biggest comeback in hip hop history from what he did in 2019 to now. All this waiting, all this anticipation, I truly believe that this is going to be it. The way that he's been promoting it, talking about it, getting everyone excited. I mean, I don't want to sit here and say that it's impossible for him to come back to what he used to be. I think it is. And I do believe that there's a level of maturity that he's gained from this experience. And this album may be the thing that really puts him back on the map. And I believe in it. I truly think that this is going to be what's going to get him back to where he was. Thank you so much for watching this video. I recorded this over several days. It took another several days to edit. I enjoyed doing this and I want to do more. In fact, I have a Drake one coming up soon, and he has a lot more music and a lot more things for me to actually review and do the math on and averages and all that. Actually going in depth with the songs and giving you my opinions on each one and really giving you an understanding of what this artist has been doing in their past works and what they have coming up next. I think I really hope that this is like a new wave of album reviews. I have fun doing this, and I hope you did too. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and please show me some love. I want to keep doing these. I want to keep doing this. And if you want me to keep doing them, let me know by showing your support with likes, subscribes, and even comments, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys have a great day and a better tomorrow. God bless. I'll see you all later.
Oh, I love my wife. I love my wife. Ah! Let's go ride a bike with my wife.